everybody, my name is Sophie, and welcome back to another episode. I feel like does Jeffree Star do that? Just off the bat, because I've been doing that. Oh, well, I'm Sophie, and this is the Bookhater Club podcast, and I'm Sophie, and I'm honestly Sophie. I'm the Bookhater Club president, who doesn't have money for batteries, which is why the sign in the back is off. But before we talk about Jeffree Star, I want to tell you what we talk about today in today's episode. If you're wondering what has happened in the book community, Sophie, how can you make a podcast episode so frequently and always talk about different drama? Well, ask Booktok, because they are the heart of it, okay? We have two things that happened. First of all, plagiarism. I'm anti-plagiarism. Who's pro-plagiarism? Well, the plagiarizers. But I'm anti-plagiarism. And from a not-so-well-known author, I think. And then the other topic is Hazelwood getting banned. No, deleting. Sorry, I lied. Deleting her Instagram because she got bullied because of the Hunger Games. And if you're wondering how that happened and what the plagiarism accusations are and why I'm not talking about Powerless in that context, then keep watching. And I'll put the timestamps in the description if you only want to hear about one topic or the other, so you can skip forward. So now, does Jeffree Star do that in the beginning of his videos? I admit that I watched Jeffree Star back when they hadn't fallen from grace yet. Not that I watched his makeup tutorials because I really didn't give a fuck, but when he was like with other people, right? And, or does he do it on TikTok? Somewhere he's like, back! What is he doing now? Is he still around? I actually don't know. And I don't want to know. Now that I talked about him, I'm going to get him on my phone, because my phone is open and listening right now to me. I do not want to see Jeffree Star. I'm scared of him. I do not want to see him. I hate him. I hate him. He is one of the Bookhater Club enemies. I have to get comfortable. So now I want to address my outfit. Yes, I am in my sleepy clothes. Why? Because I'm sleepy. That's the whole reason. I'm sleepy. I work a full-time job. And I'm sleepy and I didn't want to get ready. And I hope you forgive me, but this is only a podcast episode, so you can have this, well, you can have all of my videos running in the back, but just have it running in the back. You know, don't look at me if you don't want to. But if you do want to look, maybe you can get your own sleepy clothes. No matter what time it is right now where you are. Get your sleepy clothes, put them on, go to bed, but keep the video playing. Sorry, I'm German. This is the Bookhater Club podcast with Sophie, the German bookhater. There's also international bookhaters, of course. So, before we get into our topics, I of course have my little segment. And, well, I'll tell you when we get there. But the segments are, or is, what I'm ... What I'm reading, what I'm watching, what I'm gaming, and then my favorite drama, which is also included in it, but I don't know how to phrase it better. So let's start. What am I currently reading? The biggest question, of course, that everyone wants to know the answer to, because we're in the Bookhater Club podcast. Shield of Sparrows. Prank. I'm not reading that yet, but my members, there was a poll, they did vote for it, it did win. Thank you to all my members for voting. And the other options, if you're interested, were Bound or something. Let me look it up. I don't even remember. It's another book that got some popularity on Booktok, but I think you guys don't know it. So that's why no one voted for it. So let me just talk about it now. So yeah, Bound by Sable Sorensen. And I think that name is really funny, and you're gonna be like, you can't just say that. I can't say that. If there is a Sable Sorensen out there, then I'm sorry, but this name is a pen name from two best friends who decided they wanted to write a book together, and they for some reason picked Sable Sorensen, and so I think Sorensen, sorry, and I think that's a really interesting name. Out of all the names you can pick, that is the name that you pick. And then God of War by Rena Kent and Wild Love by Elsie Silver. Those were the options, and Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry has won. So I will start reading that tomorrow, not today. Maybe not tomorrow, I don't know why I'm lying. Maybe the day after tomorrow. Or never. And I'll never make a video again. No, I'll start reading it. I'm interested to start reading it. It's under the same publishing house as Fourth Wing. I have no idea what it's about. I feel like I also don't want to look it up because I want to be surprised. So I'm not going to look it up. But it is a completely new, I don't think it's a completely new author. That's also another lie. Sophie Lie Counter. I'm not going to do that, but we could do that because it keeps happening. So that's what I'm going to read. Let me know if you've read that book, and I'll let you know what I thought of it in the review that's coming as the next video. What am I currently watching? Yes, what am I watching? You're wondering? Of course, I watched, well, first, I watched two things. I watched Olimpo, which is a Netflix original show that just came out a few days ago. The reason I watched it is because I was really bored yesterday night. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, should I start reading? Which, by the way, She Loves Sparrows is 15 euros as an ebook. Fuck you, Daphne Perry or Amazon or Jeff Bezos, either or. But you know, peace and love. Eat the rich! I don't even have money for the batteries. Please watch the ads. Olimpo is a Netflix original. It's what is the English saying? PG. It's PG-16 here. So I don't know what that would make wherever you're from, but it's PG, so only 16 and up can watch it. Thankfully I'm 24, so I was allowed to watch it because they show a lot of man booty in it. There's a lot of man booty and a lot of like explicit sex scenes. Also gay, which is great. It's Pride Month still, I think. So shout out to all the gays. Shout out to all the prides. And that's why I would recommend you to watch the show, because there's a lot of gays in there. Well, there is, but I didn't like the show. I don't really like any shows anymore. Man, I don't really enjoy anything anymore. My life is so sad. No, I mean, I did finish it. It was only 8 episodes, frankly, but I really... Let me order my thoughts. I started watching it last night. I finished it today, in like the morning, afternoon, early, not afternoon, in the noon. And it's a show about a group of people who are all 18 and up, I imagine, they never specified, going to a school that's not a school, it's just like a training center, and they're training in different sports so that they qualify to be sponsored for the Olympic Games by a company called Olimpo. And then there's like some drama with one girly pop who's new, and she like kind of killed her best friend in a car crash, but we don't elaborate on this. There's a cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger for the first season. It's very anticlimactic the way the way it ends the first season. I thought, that's it? Like, that was my reaction. I was like, okay, what? That's it? That's literally what I said when I finished it. And they're cheesing the second season. I mean, it could end like this, but they didn't even go to the Olympic Games yet. And they have to do it. And it's also a Spanish show. And yeah. And then there's like some drama because of who's fucking who, and the gays being gay in rugby, which rugby to me is inherently a very gay sport, if I may say so myself. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know anything about rugby. But then there's like one person in the rugby team who's gay, and they're like, "You're gay." And he goes, "Who's gay? Can I call you Mister?" Do we know that interview? Love that video. Sometimes I quote it when I hear the word Mister. Anyway, and then there's also some drama because of doping, and then one of the main characters' best friend goes missing, and she's doping, and everyone's doping, and that's the story. And at the end of the show, it's, well, you know what? I don't really know what it was. I don't really know what was going on. The thing is, something I've realized about myself, and I've realized this about myself in the past, and then I forgot about it, and today I realized it again. I cannot watch shows, on my iPad, because if I watch shows on my iPad, I would become like an iPad kid and just skip forward 10 seconds, because a lot of shows, there's like a lot of slow-mo clips in this show. Not all shows in the world, but in this show specifically, a lot of slow-mo clips, and I need you to hurry up. And I could theoretically just speed up the episode, but for some reason I don't want to do that. I just watch it in a normal tempo and then skip forward 10 seconds and just skip until I get to a scene that interests me. So I don't watch on my tablet usually, because I will do that. And if I watch on other medium, I won't do that. So that's Olimpo, what I watched. Let me know if you watched that. Now, the next one, of course. We Were Liars, which is an adaptation of the We Were Liars book by E. Lockhart? What the fuck is her name? I don't know, actually. Is her name E. Lockhart? I don't know, I didn't look it up. But it's an adaptation of that book. And let me know if you watched that. It's on Amazon Prime. And I have some very interesting thoughts about this. I will give you a little bit of a background story, okay? Bear with me here. I have not reviewed We Were Liars on this channel, and I won't, if anyone's wondering. Like, now would be the best time to do it. I would get millions of clicks. Nobody gives a fuck about the show. The promo I've seen for it is also really weird. Like, the TikTok promo that I get, maybe it's just in Germany, but it, like, doesn't fit the vibe of the show at all. If you don't know what it's about, I won't spoil the ending or anything. But if you don't know what it's about this privileged white family. They're all white and blonde and blue-eyed. Oh. Maybe I'm German. Anyway, that family is called the Sinclairs. And they go to a like beach property that they have every summer. Okay? Why is it always in the summer? Why does no one go into the property in the winter? Should I write a winter book where it's like the boys, no, what is it called? The summer I turn pretty, but I make it the winter I turn ugly. Maybe I should do like the reverse. Anyway, they go to this beach, whatever, every summer, and they're all super privileged. I think that the criticism of society, I don't really know the words for it, but it's very like shallow and very surface level. But anyway, they go there every year, and then one year in the summer, there's an accident, and the main character, whose name I forgot, wakes up and doesn't remember what happened that night and goes to the hospital and has like severe brain damage, and no one tells her anything of what happened. And they're like, no, you need to remember on your own. So then the next summer after this injury, she returns and she's like, I want to return so I can, jog my memory about what happened. And she has a group of friends and they're called the Liars. And so that's why it's called We Were Liars. Notice how it's a past term. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean anything. We Were Liars. And this group consists of her two cousins, and her Indian boyfriend. Oh my god. And then, of course, everyone's racist towards him. And the dude that plays the cousin, not her love interest, but the white cousin, he is going to play Hamish. So that's also why I wanted to watch it. And he did a great job. I don't really care. Like, he was fine, right? I just spit everywhere. Because I'm so enraged. Because I didn't like it. I didn't like it either! Do I like any shows? No, but I have valid criticism. Wait, okay? I'm just explaining the plot to you. And she returns, and she finds these three people, and she's like, you didn't reach out to me all year, you didn't talk to me, why didn't you come visit at the hospital? And they're like, well, they told us to stay away, but now we're here, like, we're gonna have a great summer, and you're gonna remember, and blah, blah, blah. And what else was there? We get flashbacks between her and, like, everything leading up to the incident that she doesn't remember of that summer, and like how, I don't know, their friendship developed and everything. They'd known each other for years at that point, but also like further flashbacks, and then the present time where she's trying to remember. I think the main girl has never had a migraine before, because whenever she remembers something, she's like, ugh, ugh. And it's like, it's supposed to be a migraine. I feel like I just did a really, really good impression of her. If you watch the show, let me know. But I could have done it better. Anyway, she tries to remember what happened last summer. I know what you did last summer. Ooh. That's what she is doing. What did I think of the show? Without spoiling the end, of course. And then I will tell you a little story about the book, because I do have a little story about the book, because I did read it in the past. They modernized it. I don't know when the book came out. I read it when I was 13 or 14, so a long time, or like 10 years ago at least. And I don't know if the book was recent at that time or whatever, but in the show, they were like, okay, we have to modernize it. They start talking about OnlyFans, about TikTok. I was like, oh my god. Do we need to do that? Like, I feel like we could have, I don't know what they had referenced in the book that they had to replace that. But it's like, maybe just not reference anything at all? I found that was weird. Then, they had a really bad nail polish job done on their nails. The two main girls, the cousin and the main character. I don't know if they had like press-ons or whatever, but sometimes we would get close-ups of the nails, and it was just like awful. It looked awful and fake and ugly. And then we also, in the last episode, get a close-up, very close close-up. They did a lot of close-ups of the cousin. And she has mascara on, And she's also Ewan, how do you say his name? How do you say his name in English? That's his name in English, that's literally his name. Ewan McGregor's daughter, you know, Obi-Wan. That's his daughter who plays the cousin. She only has mascara on her top lashes, and so when they were doing close-ups, all I could look at was her bottom lashes that were blonde and didn't have any fucking mascara on them. I thought that was such a weird choice to make. Like, just put some fucking mascara on the bottom, like, especially if you're doing a close-up. And that's all the thoughts I have on the show. I didn't like it. I actually watched until episode 4, and then I watched the last episode, and that was it. I skipped 4 episodes, or 3, because it also has 8 episodes, because I just could not be bothered at all. It was dragging on. The plot was very slow. I felt like there's also a lot of going on with the family, like how they're all like corrupted and fighting inheritance and blah blah blah. And I'm sure that some people would like it, but to me it was just a very slow show, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Guys, recommend a show that I would like. Do you think I would like Grey's Anatomy? I don't know, that's just the first thing that came to mind. I have never watched Grey's Anatomy. The only long-term show, well, that's not true. Lie counter, I was gonna say, is The Vampire Diaries, which is a reach. I didn't even finish that show. Game of Thrones, maybe. Well, that's also long-term. Those two, maybe, I would say. I don't know. I don't like TV, maybe. I do, guys. I'm sorry, I'm just a hater. I just didn't like Olimpo and We Were Liars. Now you're foaming at the mouth for... I'm yapping so much. You're foaming at the mouth for the story about We Were Liars. I have an amazing story, and I've been wanting to tell you guys this. I read We Were Liars when I was 13 or 14, as I stated before, and I was living in the basement at the time. Don't ask. It was great. I moved out of there because I didn't have enough daylight. That's the only reason. But I lived in the basement. And I remember that I was reading the book and I was finishing it. And the ending is supposed to make you feel emotions. And when I got to the end, and I don't even remember why, I was crying my eyes out. Like, I don't know why my reaction was so severe is what I mean. Like, I know the ending was supposed to be, you know? But I didn't know it was going to be so severe for me. I didn't just, like... I was sobbing, like wailing low-key, and I was trying to keep quiet, and I was in the basement so no one would hear me anyway, and I was crying my eyes out at the end of We Were Liars. I thought that was the best thing I'd ever read in my life. And in that moment, my mom came in. And this wouldn't happen so often because I was in the basement, right? And also I was being quiet, and then that's the second she comes into my basement room. And my bed at the time was like behind a pillar, so she couldn't directly see me. I think she wanted to take me somewhere. She was like, do you want to, or she was going somewhere, she was like, do you want to come? And I was like, mm-hmm. And she was like, are you okay? And she came around the pillar, and she was like, Sophie, what happened? What's going on? And I just held up the book, and I started crying even more, like, loudly. And she came out, she hugged me, she was like, it's just a book, it's just a story. That's how I was. And that's my memory that I have of We Were Liars. I have literally no memory of the book itself, besides, like, how the way it ended, like, the plot points. But, like, writing-wise or anything other from the story, I did not remember, besides the fact that I cried my eyes out at the end of the book. And my mom caught me. And it was really embarrassing. And then she held me while I cried about We Were Liars. You know, it just is that deep when you're 14 years old. It just is that deep. So I don't judge myself. So now I regret to inform you guys that for the What Am I Gaming and my favorite drama, I don't have anything. And I really regret to tell you that. And because of that, I haven't, yapped enough yet. I thought, why not replace that with a different segment? And I will only do this if I don't have something for like half of the categories that are in the what I'm ... segment. So this is not gonna be added. Or if I have something severe, like not severe but urgent to share, then I would add it. It's my thoughts at the moment. Thoughts at the moment. Because I don't know how long it's been since my last podcast, so I don't know if it's thoughts of the week, thoughts of the month, thoughts of the last 13 days or whatever. So it's just thoughts at the moment. And I have a notes app open. I have the notes app open with a note in it. And I've been writing them down. And I just have 5. But I'm only going to tell you 4 because I feel like you're gonna judge me for one. The first one is, and you can tell me if you agree with these thoughts or not, right? And what your biggest thought of the week was. And what you thought of We Were Liars. So, my first one is, I think it's a red flag when you're in an elevator and it doesn't have a button to close the doors. And how did I think of this one? I was at work and the work elevator doesn't have a button to close the doors. Understandably so. I get why they don't have one, but I want one. I don't want to be in the elevator with you. I want to ride it alone. That's my first one. Do you agree or not? I want to be able to close the doors whenever I want to. Second one. Also work related. I had a lot of thoughts at work. How am I supposed to take men seriously who are wearing a suit and wearing like their business briefcase and they're walking past me, going to the same building that I am to work, and they're like all dressed up, but in their hand is like a bubblegum vape. That's how I know we're in a simulation. That's how I know that there's something going on. Because I cannot take you seriously if you're like a grown man with a business job and you're walking past me with a fucking bubblegum vape. Smoke a cigarette or something at least. Don't smoke at all, guys. Put the vape down. If you have a vape in your hand right now, put it down. Especially if you're a businessman. Because I will not take you seriously if you do. That is my thought. Then, and I think this is, I don't know if I feel like someone has said this before because this does not feel like an original thought. Tom Felton, who we all know as Draco Malfoy, who we all know as Cringe, he gives me Jason Nash vibes. Jason Nash from David Dobrik. I don't know if this is like too deep. You tell me. And then, oh yeah, my fourth and final thought, and you can tell me if you agree. I have beef with the Mormons. They don't have beef with me, I have beef with them. And I get a lot of like mission reveal TikToks where they tell you where they're going to preach the gospel. Stay away from me. I do not want to hear it. And they always get a letter. I know all about this. They get a letter and then they read it out, and at the bottom it says where they have been assigned to serve their mission. And for some reason they always feel the need to read out the entire fucking letter. Just tell me where you're going. It's like mission reveal, and then you read out the entire fucking letter, and it's a long letter. It's like this long. Stop. You have been selected to preach the gospel of John Adams. What the fuck is his name again? Doesn't matter. It's not John Adams. I don't care. Just tell me where the fuck you're going. So I can, judge you silently. I'm already judging you silently. Tell me where you're going. So I know if I have to stay indoors and lock the door and like put an upside down cross at my door. You have been itching for me to stop yapping and start talking about our topics for today. And I think the one I want to start with is the plagiarism one. Because while this one is serious and also bullying someone off of Instagram is serious, I think the Ellie Hazelwood one is still a little bit more lighthearted. Can I say that? Ellie Hazelwood is one of my ops. So, and I didn't even bully her on Instagram. So, imagine how much the people who did that hate her. Which, I'm not even well, maybe should I talk about that first? No, I'm going to talk about it a second. We'll get there. Bullying is never okay, but we'll get there. But we'll get there, not but. Like, it's never okay, period. So, you're wondering, what is this plagiarism drama? Is it related to Powerless by Lauren Roberts and The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard? No. Oh, sorry. No, it's not. Though, people were, of course, accusing, if you remember, Lauren Roberts of plagiarizing Victoria Aveyard's The Red Queen. I, at the time, was also saying, like, she was very heavily inspired by a lot of different works, especially Red Queen, but she didn't copy things word for word, bar for bar. So you couldn't really be like, this is plagiarized. It's really hard to prove plagiarism, right? Because a lot of people can have the same idea at once. So now, what is with this? Why do people say, no, this is plagiarism? Well, she copied things word for word, bar for bar. So, anyway, allegedly. Everything I say about this is alleged. Nothing is a fact. It's just me telling you my opinion. Don't sue me. I don't have money. I cannot give you anything. So, sorry. I feel like Shane Dawson. Why do I keep bringing up old people? I feel like Shane Dawson, when he kept saying, I'm poor, I'm poor. Shut up, Ginger. I always wanted to be Ginger. I don't even mean this in a judgmental way. I dyed my hair red multiple times when I was younger. Different shades of red. I brought, oh my god, yeah, I brought a poster of Ariana Grande and Victorious to the hairdresser because I want a poster from a magazine because I wanted them to dye my hair red like hers. I mean, that's not ginger, it's red, but I also did want to, it was between Bella Thorne on Shake It Up and Cat Valentine from Victorious, so that's how deep I was in that, and I was 12 years old, and my parents allowed it because they love me. Anyway, what is happening here? We have a little bit of drama between the books called Obsessed and Beverly. Obsessed is by R.J. Lewis. You might notice it was published on the 29th of January in 2016. It's been years. Beverly was published by an author named, watch this, Lauren J. Roberts. R.J. Lewis, Lauren J. Roberts. Two different people. Published on the 15th of May 2020. I keep thinking we're in 2026 already. I'm a little bit confused. And these books were published 9 years apart, but people were still quick to catch that there was something fishy going on. It got the Beverly book was self-published by Laura, and she never showed her face, which is fine, but she did plagiarize allegedly. That is not fine. She maybe, however, like managed to market the fuck out of her book, out of her new release. She got a lot of book talkers talking about it, reading it, praising it pre-release before she self-published it. And so it was like a little bit more known. I didn't hear about it, but people in the community were like, oh yeah, I heard about it. And then oh my god, yeah, I don't even remember this. I just read it when I was looking at the videos. There was one person who was like, honestly, where you paid for the review, like so many people were promoting it, and I just feel like it's so weird, like, did the author offer you any money? And then the creator responded and was like, I'm so sick and tired of hearing all of these people accusing me of being paid. I was like, I always get a little bit of whiplash because, like, no one is forcing you to reply to that comment. Like, just don't reply, or just say no. Anyway, it just isn't that deep. Exactly the plot of either or book is, I can't tell you because I don't care that much. However, I can tell you what people accused Laura, Lady Laura, of stealing, plagiarizing, allegedly, okay? I will read out the similarities to you, and I found this online and I haven't even read it myself. So I thought, why not cold read with you guys together? It's a live reaction. So the first one, Obsessed, is the original. Beverly is the copycat, allegedly. In Obsessed, it reads, I was on the phone talking to my best friend Cindy about the cute boy in our class. I was on the bottom step of the staircase, smiling at the sight of my father in his police uniform, walking past the gate and down the path to the front door. Beverly. I was on the phone with my best friend Tiffany, giggling about boys, something we had only recently decided were interesting rather than gross. I sat at the bottom of the stairs, twirling the phone cord in my fingers, when I saw my father coming down the walkway. Okay, that's compelling evidence. Obsessed again. He made a mess. Half his food fell on the table. The first time it happened, he glanced up fearfully at Daddy. Daddy just smiled and said, use your hands. Use your hands, it says. Use your hands, Aston, and don't worry about the mess. His hands shook harder with each passing second. This is Beverly now. And I watched in silence as spaghetti slipped off his plate and fell on the table. His entire body tensed, and he glanced up at my father with fear in his eyes. Use your hands if you need to. So, okay. Would I have caught that? I don't know. If there are more similarities, then maybe. I did see one other girly pop talk about it. About the fact that both books have the plot where there's like the dad, and allegedly he's in both books a police officer, and they take in a foster child, which is, I think, is the main male character that the main female character falls in love with, like her stepbrother, or not her foster brother, basically. And that the plot on how he became a foster child is very similar with like a kitchen knife, which is really weird because that's hyper specific. So in one book it says Aston was a foster child since he was 5. His father murdered his mother and 2 younger sisters with a kitchen knife. In the other book it said Blake had been a foster child since he was 6 years old when his father took a kitchen knife and erased his mother and younger sister from existence. So she does elaborate a little bit in the sentence, but it's like, that's a very specific plot point. And it's like, with a lot of other things in addition to that, people are like, this lady is plagiarizing. This must be plagiarism. And author R.J. Lewis, the author of the original book, Obsession, then took to Instagram and Facebook and everywhere where you can find her. Also, interesting fact to mention is, of course, the initials are the same. We have, wait, it keeps confusing me, R.J. Lewis and Laura J. Roberts. So LJR is the initials for both of the authors, and so people were like, maybe she's just doing a marketing thing where she's like republishing it or something and like pretending like it's new work or whatever. And also the two authors' Instagram bios were very similar, where it was like R.J. Lewis, who is allegedly the copycat. No, it's the original, sorry. I get confused because they're so similar. The original says in her bio, movies play inside my brain and then I vomit them on a keyboard. And Laura J. Roberts, her bio read, because she deleted her Instagram, her bio read, I vomit words. So it's weird because it's like, both of them use the word vomit, which is like, okay, and then also your initials are so similar, and then your books are so similar. It's like a lot of coincidences adding up. And the original baddie, R.J. Lewis, she came to Instagram and she said, stolen work alert! It has been brought to my attention that Beverly by Laura J. Robert was stolen from my book Obsessed. My team and I have been painstakingly reviewing the original copy of Robert's book, and the similarities/plagiarism cannot be ignored straight from the very start. It is actually sickening, which, you know, sickening, I cannot use seriously anymore, that word. It's just like, it's a good word for me because I'm so online, and has left me shocked and saddened. This is an author's worst nightmare. I'm an author who does not have a big online presence, and thank all who have reached out to bring this to my attention, as I don't have much visibility on the social media space. I have contacted Amazon to raise a copyright infringement case and hope that people in the Booktok space realize this author is stealing content and profiting from it. Please help spread the word that this author, in quotes, does not deserve the recognition she is getting over stolen work. So, in her eyes, it is plagiarized. I also saw somewhere that there was another book that the alleged copycat author, published or was going to publish that was similar to like ACOTAR, I think. But I read that synopsis and I don't even have it here because I was like, that just sounds like every other fantasy book. Like, I can't call her out for that. That is just like, you know, that would be hypocritical. So then R.J. Lewis, the original baddie, she came back on Instagram after posting that statement. She was like, I'm gonna say some more things to all the bitches who think I'm like behind this for some reason. She said, wanting to set the record straight. Yes, I was made aware the plagiarized book of Obsessed has been re-uploaded on Kindle Unlimited today, the 1st of June 2025. So this was literally from when I'm filming this 2 days ago. So recent. Oh my god. I'm aware it's been rewritten and re-edited. How many versions by this person do we have to see? In parentheses, I thought one was enough. Period. I thought this was over. I'm dealing with Amazon as they are the only avenue I have to make this right. Please do not support people who do this. Because I also saw this, the book was back on Amazon. It was taken down for a while after the author also deleted her Instagram. And then she re-uploaded it because it's self-published, right, through Amazon. And she was like, well, now it's edited work, so it's different. Like, I redid it. And so now this author has to go through it again. She also goes, this is not a PR stunt. Someone is doing this to me. Please stop the private messages and rumors that I am behind this. And then the third one is, there's a bigger and more important issue here that extends beyond my situation. How much is enough? One sentence, one paragraph, a whole chapter. If this can happen to an indie author, it will happen to others. How many rewritten versions of our own creative work will we have to see out there before we realize it's a problem? Girl, if this carries through, how long before we see others exploiting the loophole on a larger scale to more books and creative content? As authors and readers, we cannot allow this to happen. Thank you for reading. No problem, Queen. Well, you have to understand that people don't really care that much. They didn't care with Powerless. They don't care with everyone who's trying to be ACOTAR or has been trying to copy that. It's so hard to prove plagiarism in the literature space, and I always talk about this when we come to topics like this, but I think that with this she might have a solid case. The kitchen knife. A lot has changed since the last time you saw me. Arguably, just my shirt. And it's the next day. But we have to get to the bottom of this. We have to get to the bottom of this plagiarism scandal, right? And I just want to tell you guys, I didn't really, like, I reflected on it and I feel like I didn't really read out compelling evidence to you guys that is like, oh my god, this is definitely plagiarized. And also, a fact that I forgot to mention is that the allegedly plagiarized work is actually like 200 pages longer than the original work. So, a lot of people were saying, how is that possible if it's like word for word, bar for bar? Like, it's less, it's more. Like, what the fuck did she do? Well, some people were alleging that maybe she just used filler words. A lot of filler words, which ended up, you know, making the book longer. Yeah, that's how filler words work. I don't know what the truth is. I think, again, I said it yesterday, and I say it today. The kitchen knife storyline is very evident of something going on, something fishy. I don't know the truth. I hope that the original author, Queen Batty, gets justice. And I do think it's weird and fishy and maybe there was something going on there. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know. And maybe the people didn't read far enough to give like more evidence, or maybe it was just so like blatantly obvious when you were reading it that they didn't feel like they needed to point it out. But I feel like the proof that I read out to you guys were a little bit weak. I apologize. Let me know what you think anyway. And let's get to Ellie Hazelwood. Of course, everyone is grieving the loss of Ellie Hazelwood on Instagram. She is not dead, thankfully. As much as she is my op, I do not wish her death. I don't wish that to anyone. But some people did wish her death. And you're gonna ask me why? Well, it's the reason she deleted or deactivated her Instagram account. I don't think it's deleted. I think it's deactivated. I've never deactivated my Instagram account. I'm not that dramatic. I have to be honest. I think it's a little bit dramatic. Not if you're like really popular and you're getting bullied hard and that's why you delete it or deactivate it. But if you're just a normal person like me, and then you deactivate your account, it's like, okay, why? Anyway, I want to tell you guys about this story because it has been shaking the grounds of YA literature. I don't know why I'm paraphrasing it like this. Basically, I'm going to give you the rundown and then we're going to go deeper into it. Ellie Hazelwood was at LA Book Festival, I think it's called, and she was on a panel. And she made a statement. While she was on this panel, she was like having a little bit of a banterish back and forth with her friend or moderator or co-author, whoever the fuck she is. I'm sorry, girly pop, I don't know you. And it was unclear if this person was the moderator or the author, and like another author she was having a panel with. And someone posted this exchange, and it's very clear that they're like joking around and like hyping their conversation up for the hell of it all, or however you say. I don't know any idioms very evidently. And some people didn't think it was that fun. Some people even went as far as to say this is bad. Because whatever the question was, we don't know, that was specifically asked, people assume it's like, are you Team Gale or Team Peeta from the Hunger Games? Of course Ellie Hazelwood is Team Gale. Like, she's weird like that. I don't know who is Team Gale. I don't even know how that was ever a question. If you're Team Gale or Team Peeta, I don't know if he was ever even an option in my eyes. Never, actually. But she wants to be different, so she said Team Gale. Then there was like this banter back and forth between her and this other lady. And she made the crucial mistake, Ellie Hazelwood, of saying, I'm going to reenact it. Peeta is useless! I even tried to do the accent. She said that. She said Peeta is useless and people did not agree. They were like, how could you say that? This is absolutely the worst thing you could ever say to me. And then they took it to her Instagram and started bullying her on Instagram. And that's why she deactivated her account, because she got bullied. Or did she? Now, let me read out what some of the people had to say to her. If I even still have it, maybe I deleted it because I was like, I don't really care that much. And I was trying to clean up my phone, but I should have it screenshotted because of course I'm a proper YouTuber, right? Right? Where is it? Where is it? Ellie Hazelwood hate Instagram doesn't have any results. So that's not good. But I did see a person who posted the screenshots, and I think because she posted a screenshot in her story justifying herself before she deactivated her account. And it's been like, I don't want to lie, 2 weeks of her having it deactivated, maybe even longer, which is crazy. Why the fuck did I not fucking screenshot the fucking comments? But anyway, people were just bullying her and she was like justifying herself. And I want to show it to you guys so bad. I don't have it. Please help. I'm so bad at YouTubing, man. Anyway, I can't find it. You just have to trust me. And honestly, like, now this is giving people like a reason to come out of the woodworks to be like, I've always disliked Ellie Hazelwood. She never knows what's going on and what's good. She writes the same characters over and over again. She writes Raylo fanfic. Of course she's Team Gale. Like, she is just jealous that she cannot write a revolutionary book like The Hunger Games. And at the end of the day, I think that's not true. I think she really doesn't care that much. She was just having fun. And it's crazy for me, crazy to me to go on Instagram and like spend time of day to bully someone on Instagram because they said they didn't like my favorite character of the series. Like, the fuck? If I had that much free time, honestly, maybe I would. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't. Don't ever send hate to anyone directly. Only do it in a YouTube video that's like an hour long. Like me. It's not hate, it's criticism. And then people are like, oh, you know, this, we're not hating her, we're criticizing her. It's like, you can't criticize someone for their opinion. It doesn't work like that. So people were saying, oh my god, she is so sad, that's why she deactivated her account. Alas, that is not true, guys. She deactivated her account because she actually does a great job of promoting people of colors, books, marginalized authors on her Instagram. I have to give it up for her. I think that's great that she's using her platform to do that. She constantly posts their new releases and does like collaborative posts, I think they're called, where you post something and then you tag someone and it's on their account too. I've never done that. I don't have any friends. I don't know why I would do that ever. I want to be the main character. I don't want anyone, you know, I don't want my shit on their thing. It's my thing. So, but she does that, which is good for her and for the authors that she's promoting. And the hate that she was receiving was being posted under one of the posts where she was promoting someone else. And so she said she's deactivating her account because why the fuck would she want this random author who she's trying to uplift need to see all of these comments of people like threatening to kill her because she doesn't like PETA and things like that, which is a like crazy opinion to have, and I don't agree with it, first of all. Second of all, I think maybe she just used the wrong word. I actually don't remember right now if she elaborated on her point. I think no, she said he's useless, he doesn't do anything, I think. So I don't think that's true, but maybe she was just like struggling to voice her opinion, because I don't agree with her. But it doesn't really matter, it's not that deep. Just like anything in life, it's not that deep to me, ever. But her friend Kate Goldbeck clarified in a post, which I don't know where this was posted. I don't know what this app is, this layout. Maybe Twitter? I don't know. Y'all, please, Allie is fine. She wants you to know that she's not crying in her cupboard. Must be an Italian thing. Y'all are so quirky. I love you guys. She simply wanted to end the comments on the collab post and the distraction. The distraction? Oh, the distraction from getting so many comments. So we can all go back to whatever we were doing, because if there's one thing Allie doesn't like, it's people talking about how great she is. Maybe follow at Linnea Butter and check out the Kawi Writers Conference, which is what the post was actually about. Go check that out. I don't know what the fuck that is. If you care, you can make sure to check that out. But that's why she deactivated her account. And again, it's been like a week and she has, or two, and she hasn't uploaded her Instagram. So maybe she's just like taking a complete break now, because I'm sure now it would be like it's blown over. Nobody really cares anymore. But maybe this showed her that she just needs a little Instagram break or a little social media break. I don't know. I don't know what else is up with her and what's going on with her life besides that she's writing shitty ass books. And I've always said that she writes bad books. You know, I didn't need her to say PETA is useless to realize that. So that's that, and that's why Ellie Hazelwood deactivated her account and it's not back up. So if you sent hate to Ellie Hazelwood on her Instagram because she said PETA is useless, then maybe you are useless, because we don't do that. We don't do that, guys. Put the phone down. Put the finger down. Don't use the finger. Don't do it. And I appreciate everyone who's been watching, because we're at the end now. That's not much. There's not anything else to the story. What the fuck am I supposed to say? Don't send hate to anyone. I think it's ridiculous, and I love PETA, and I have a crush on him, even though he's blonde. The only blonde man I'll accept. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna stop And oh, I'm going to leave and turn on my fan because it is like really hot in Germany. And for everyone who makes fun of the Germans, sorry. Sorry, keep making fun of me. Our houses are built to hold in heat. You can, oh, we have AC. We are very modern, but only in our living room. You can feel the temperature change from the living room where the AC is on, going outside into the hallway. It's getting warmer. And then you go up the stairs to my room, it's hot. The air keeps getting thicker, 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 warmer, warmer, warmer. And so when I'm filming in this weather, the camera keeps dying. I can't have the fan on. It's a whole ordeal, but I'll do it for you guys, because I love you guys. So, that's why I'm leaving now. That's why I'm leaving now. And also, I want to get a little matchy, a little matcha. So, thank you for watching. I want to give a shout out to my members, of course. My members get my videos a day early, and they also get to vote on my reads, like Shield of Sparrows, which I still haven't started. Even though I said that yesterday I was going to start today, but today it is still long. It's still a day. So I can still start it, okay? But they voted for that. They are the reason I'm reading it. And they also get exclusive content such as my Ruby Red movie commentary. I want to watch the movies again so bad, but I can't find them anywhere with English subtitles. I was so close to filming a movie review of those movies, but I couldn't find them with English subtitles. And the video that I posted, if you don't know, I made the subtitles myself. Like, when was that? 4 years ago? Oh my god, I don't even remember. And that's that. So, and they also just support me, and I give them my peace and love in return. So if that's something you're interested in, you can consider becoming a member. And if not, then not. But thank you anyway. Thank you for watching. I hope you stay happy, you stay healthy. Peace and love. And hopefully, I'll see you in my next video. Mwah! Bye bye.